Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 2021 New Moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Scorpio be affected by the November 2021 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Oh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Magician, which I love. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. So our mind plays a huge part during this time. And we have Strength, which is Leo energy coming into play. So if we have Leos in our lives, or if we have Leo within our natal chart, they're coming through very powerfully at our root. During this time, Scorpio, because this new moon is in Scorpio, we're going to find that we're facing storms that we kind of had swept under the rug. So really having the strength card and really having the ability to stand forward in what we want is going to be intrinsically important to us during this time. We have the Eight of Pentacles in our inner self, and we have the High Priestess. We're working hard and we're starting to see things that weren't revealed to us before. With the High Priestess, the veil is lifted from our eyes. We see things in a way that, again, we just hadn't made the connections, hadn't understood it in that way. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I see it. Oh, okay, I got this. And it has to do around our hard work. It has to do around our dedication. It has to do with what we are building and increasing within our own lives. And then it moves us to our emotional self. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We're starting a new journey and we're planting new seeds, new prosperity, new abundance. We have the Seven of Pentacles, patience. Patience is going to be absolutely needed. And then we have the Death card, which is us in the Major Arcana. We're represented by the Death card in the Major Arcana. We're represented by the Cups in the Minor Arcana. This new moon in Scorpio is going to be quite powerful for us, and the Scorpio energy is going to very much be affecting our hearts. We're going to be affecting our hearts. So knowing that things are going to hit us emotionally, and knowing that we have to root ourselves in what we desire and see things clearly, not just the way others want us to see things or we want to see them ourselves. That's going to be very important. It moves us to the public arena, which has the Knight of Pentacles. This is Earth sign energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have earth sign energy within our natal chart, or we have earth sign energy within our lives, there are going to be people who are moving us forward. They're going to be moving forward in a slow way. They're going to be moving us forward in a way that we hadn't expected. It's like, okay, what the heck is going on here? type of thing. Could very well be a Taurus energy, very strong Taurus energy in the public arena right here with the Hierophant. Again, if this is in our natal chart, if we have Taurians in our lives, there's a sense of knowledge coming from them, but there's also a sense of what we're committed to being tested. And it can be that they're testing it. Like, this is a time where everybody's struggling to be heard, to be seen. Following their own independence is going to be so important to each and every one of us that we can actually get frustrated because we feel like everybody's only seeing their story and everybody's only seeing what they want to see. So stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, taking that patience with ourselves, that's going to be a really powerful thing for us to be able to do. The energy we need to be mindful of, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. We have two. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, and we have the Princess of Swords. So this can be amplifying the Gemini energy because Gemini is air sign energy represented by the swords in the minor arcana. But what we have here is a sense of only following passion, only following what makes us feel good in moments. And that's going to be something Spirit's saying, kind of step back from things, take away the lust, or take away the instant, like, okay, I need that now, kind of the instant gratification aspect of something, and see if long term, if it's good for us. And this is going to be with people, this is going to be with different things that come our way because of this new moon. But we're also going to see ourselves being very drawn to people with new and innovative ideas. What we have to know is, can they follow through? Because we're going to have a lot of people right now who can't follow through, who don't know exactly what it is that they're doing. They have an idea, but actually progressing that idea into day-to-day life is going to be hard for them. And we need to make sure that we're not kind of putting all our eggs in their basket, thinking, okay, they know it, because we're going to think they know more than they actually do. So do be mindful with that. We have our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. It's angels and masters. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This right here is a sense of the angels protecting us. We're being protected, we're being guarded, we're being led forward by our spirit guides, by our angels, by a connection with divinity, which is going to be very powerful. So don't close yourself off to it. It's going to be very easy to say, oh, I'm going to close myself off to this, or, oh, I couldn't possibly trust or, embrace this in this way, whatever the abstract thing is that's coming up. But Spirit's saying here, no, open your arms, you're being protected. And that's going to be something where we're going to be a little bit gun shy, because we can also be a little bit too trusting, a little bit too, in the moment with things. But when it comes to Spirit, when it comes to our angels, when it comes to divinity's plan for us, knowing that we don't have to know everything, knowing that we don't have to see everything, that's going to be okay. It moves us to the Magician. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. And that's one of my favorite sayings within the whole entire tarot, because what our mind focuses on, even if it's subconscious, even if it's a worry that we thought, okay, I dealt with this, I'm being very mature about this, but it's something that's just overwhelming and overpowering for us. We need to be aware of that. We need to state it during this time. And of course, I jump ahead before even getting into the astrology of it all. So the new moon is always the sun conjunct the moon, which always represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. And this cycle that this new moon is bringing us is working through our fears with this new moon in Scorpio. This is a powerful time for beginnings and for endings. We're going to feel this burst of energy. We're going to have this burst of insight. And the new moon really is a time for balancing our emotional and inner selves. What we're going to find with the new moon is that this new moon is opposite Uranus. So this brings struggle with independence. Everybody wants to be themselves. Everybody wants to be an individual. Everybody wants to stand out. Everybody wants to figure out who they are, what they want, what they're building towards, what they're desiring within their world. And so this is a time where we can find everybody kind of being very selfish, but we can also find that a lot of things that we've swept under the rug, a lot of things that we had not wanted to articulate, it comes out because people are saying, I'm done burying this and burying this and burying this. I have to let it out. I have to express, because it's going to be like putting, it's going to be like putting pots on the back burner. and saying, don't worry, they're just simmering, they're fine. They're just simmering, they're fine. And then all of a sudden the pot lights on fire or boils over and everything's just everywhere and it demands our full attention. We can have that pot light on fire because everything's just boiled down so much that there's nothing left to boil off, or we can have it overflow and it gets into everything. It's going to depend on our personalities. It's going to depend on the people that we're dealing with, how exactly it goes. But this time, with the new moon opposite Uranus, also brings about it chaotic change that happens suddenly and unexpectedly. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought we were going fine. I thought everything was like, okay. I didn't see this coming. So just being aware of the fact that we can be blindsided, just being aware of the fact of change and chaos in intensity, that's going to be important for us. It's time to have an open mind. It's time to look at things and not think, okay, I'm supposed to have all the answers. We're not supposed to be hard on ourselves. We're supposed to embrace an expression, an idea during this time. Keep that open mind and stay true to our inner selves and not let other people kind of bully us into one way of being or another. What we have to say is, this is who I am, this is what I need. But also understanding that everybody's coming at this time from this point of, but this is who I am, this is what I need. And so some things are going to come to a head that we didn't expect to. So just be aware of that. We have to embrace our desires for the new and the unusual, really stepping out of our comfort zone. The beautiful thing with this time is that we have Mercury sextile Venus, which brings harmony. Where the new moon opposite Uranus brings the unexpected and chaos, Mercury sextile Venus calms all this down. We know our emotional self. We know our inner self. We know our communicative skills much better. Things may seem to be overwhelming, but this energy of Mercury sextile Venus helps us to see what we desire, see where it is that we want to be, and center who it is that we are. Mercury sextile Venus also brings with it love, friendship, cooperation, compromise, and bringing people and ideas together when the new moon opposite Uranus can feel like they're pulling them apart. In the stars, we have the constellation of the Crown coming forward, which heightens our artistic ability and our love for flowers. We can find that we're very drawn to floral prints. This is a great time to have fresh cut flowers in the house or even fake flowers. They're going to bring us just a sense of beauty, just a sense of calm. But the Crown constellation also brings mental weariness and disillusionment. It's like, I've seen it. I've carried tremendous weights upon my shoulders. I know what I'm doing, but I also know the nonsense of everybody. And it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot to take in. It becomes a lot to understand. Within the constellation of the Crown is the fixed star Alphecca. Now, Alphecca is of the nature of Mercury and of Venus. It helps bring honor and dignity into situations while enhancing our artistic and poetic abilities. And because it's of the nature of Venus and Mercury, and these two planets are already so powerful with Mercury sextile Venus, we start to see this as a grounding element. We start to see this as an element that we're able to call upon rather easily. The constellation of the Cross is the next constellation within this time frame, and this gives us perspective and also perseverance, but it also brings with it burdens and hardships and suffering, because it's our cross to bear. It's the burdens that we have to bear within our lives. This fixed star Arcus, is in the constellation of the Cross, and it brings the nature of Jupiter, bringing religious and spiritual inclinations forward, having us inclined towards ceremonies and justice, seeing what it is that we want, and also calling us to see the magic within the world again, calling us to see the beauty within the world. And that becomes something that we're very enticed with. The magic starts to come forward. We need that. It's at our root. We need to start seeing the beautiful things. We are also going to find ourselves very drawn to antiquities, very drawn to ancient ceremonies, ancient things. We can find ourselves, stopping and going antiquing, at different little places. But this is going to be a time for us, or, just textiles or flea markets, things like that. We're going to sit there and be really drawn to older things during this time. And it brings us to this place of, what am I thinking of? What is it perpetuating within my life? As above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. And as I believe in me, so I become who it is that I need to be. We're standing before the altar of our existence, but we're also taking in the elements of ourselves. And we're also connecting with the elements of our earth. The earth that grounds us and feeds us. The air that fills our lungs and sustains us. The water that is able to nourish us and keep us going. And the fire, our passion, the fire that warms us, but also the passion that we speak with, the passion that pulls us forward. Everything starts to come forward in a very powerful way, in a very unique way, in a very us way. And as we see this, Scorpio, we start to say, what is it that I'm afraid of? What is it that holds me back? Why is it that I find it hard to stand here and embrace what I need, embrace what I want, embrace who I am? It takes strength. This is going to be a time where it takes strength to face the storms. It takes strength to understand the complexities of things. Nothing is going to be black and white page, black print, spelt out so simply, so easily. And what Spirit is saying here is that we live in the grays. Right? Scorpio, we walk between the worlds, and people don't always understand that about us. We walk between the conscious and the subconscious. We walk between the earthly plane and the spiritual realm. And that can be where people, sit there and always say, oh, Scorpio is so mysterious, or I can't really trust them. And it's like, that's not it at all. It's that we're concerned with something that other people don't even realize. And we see things in a way that other people aren't comfortable with. So we tend to keep our ideas at times to ourselves, or when we share that kind of darkly humorous joke that we have or way of looking at things, people look at us funny and we think, oh, okay, not the right crowd. But this is going to be a time where we're settling more into who we are and what we want and the way that we're moving forward. And as we do this, we find that our strength is not our big muscles. It's not bodybuilding and becoming stronger and stronger physically, though that's important. What it is the strength of our hearts. It's the strength of our souls. It's the strength of our conviction. And it leads us to the 8 of Pentacles. It leads us to prosperity. It leads us to success. It leads us to really focusing on what we've been working towards. And divinity here, as it protects us, as it guides us, can have us focusing on things that we hadn't expected to be focusing on. We can find that now we're more sure within our emotions, or we find it easier to stand up for ourselves, or we know when to walk away when something isn't right, or we know when we're being too soft-hearted or hard-hearted, whichever one it is. We start to see the ways we've been tested, the ways we've been building spiritually, the way Spirit has been guiding us, and how to put that into action, what's been carved into our souls and ourselves. But we also start to see the effort that we've been putting into things, the walls we've been running up against, and how those walls always kind of follow the same pattern, follow the same idea. With the 8 of Pentacles, we're going to see hard work and perseverance paying off. We're going to start to see things coming more naturally. Why? Because we've done it so many times that it starts to become second nature. It moves us to the High Priestess. It moves us to a veil being lifted from our eyes. We're not seeing things the same way as everybody else, and that's okay. We can think that we're wrong because we're going to think, oh, I have to conform. Or we're going to start seeing people in new lights and being like, oh, well, I'm just being harsh. Like, I don't understand why I'm being so negative about this. And what Spirit's saying here is that we're not necessarily being negative about somebody or something. What we are being is honest and truthful with the way things need to progress, or the way that we ourselves need to progress. Because a person that we could be hopelessly in love with, okay, just absolutely would always be the cheerleader for them. They can be on their own journey, but that journey could pull us down. It could be so opposite to the journey that we're on that it becomes terrifying. It becomes just draining and aggravating. And we're also finding that we've worked on being able to claim our own voice, being able to see when the journey isn't right for us. And that's where we start to see ourselves more openly and more honestly. That's where we start to move forward and say, but this is me. This is what I need. This is what I want. And the excuses that we make, I might be stepping back from them and saying, no, I need to see things as they truly are, not simply as the way I want them to be. And the High Priestess brings this honesty to the realm, but also connects us with that spiritual side that we're so inclined to walk anyway, which is absolutely beautiful. In our hearts, we have prosperity coming in. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of the Ace of Pentacles, wealth, prosperity, bounty, abundance. It's focusing on our dreams. It's focusing on things that we see clearly, like maybe while we're falling asleep at night, or when it's really late, or when we let our mind wander. We're going to see certain paths opening up, certain ways, certain visions of ourselves that we're getting. And Spirit's like, well, why not follow that? Like, why not really look at that? As this gift of prosperity comes in, as this gift of how to plant, our seeds and what we are developing and where it is that we want to be, we start seeing ourselves walk into the next chapter with wealth, with, a blueprint, a plan, a sense of this is what I need to get myself from point A to point B. And again, it comes to us in these daydreamy like ways. It comes to us with these little visions of ourselves, like maybe in a little house by the sea, or, having a little cottage industry, or whatever it is that we want, or, working on Wall Street, or, owning a shop on Main Street, or something like that. Whatever it is that our hearts are inclined to, whether it's city life or country life or somewhere in between, we start to follow that path. We start to look at that with more honesty for ourselves. What are we building? Why are we building it? What is being revealed to us? And then we need patience. We need patience to watch it grow. We need patience to know that things are coming forward. But if we rush it, we'll just mess everything up. Spirit's saying it's in my time, not your time, that things are going to be moving in the direction that we need. We're going to be seeing and being shown things in a way that we hadn't seen them before. And if we would have rushed it, we would have messed everything up. This is even with relationships. We sit there and we judge relationships, by a ticking clock. Once we get to a certain age, it's like, oh my gosh, what if I'm not going to be with somebody? What if I'm not going to have the family that I want? What if? And Spirit's saying, wait, don't be passive. Don't lock ourselves in our houses eating popcorn saying, I don't know why I'm not meeting somebody. But this is a time where we need to know that it's happening in divine time, not in our time. And it doesn't matter what relationships. It doesn't matter if we're looking to, start a family. It doesn't matter if we're looking to just have somebody to have a family, of two with, and be able to be contented within that world. Or even if we're just looking for somebody who sees our heart, who sees us. And relationship status doesn't really matter. We need to be patient because divinity is developing. And we are developing what we need. We need to have patience with ourselves because the death card is the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. One of the things with us, Scorpio, is that we don't ever stay the same. We're always changing. We're always growing. We're always gaining an understanding. And that can be hard for people to understand, but it's powerful for us to connect with. This sense of the way that I'm moving forward isn't necessarily always the way that I envisioned that I would be moving forward. But there's power here, and there's integrity and intrigue and development. And there's this sense of seeing things that others do not see. And there's also a sense of naturally being led. Here are the white dogs with red ears. In Celtic tradition, well, they're the dogs of the spirit world. They're the dogs of the fairy world. And so here we're going to be pulled forward by a natural sense of progression, but also this kind of, I want to say animalistic, but it is. It's because we're being led by the dogs. We're being led by, something just purely of nature that we need to follow. And we need to follow like their barking cues. We need to follow their way forward. And it moves us to the Knight of Pentacles. It moves us to this place of where it says patience here. Patience as we develop the seeds planted within our heart of the Ace of Pentacles as we slowly and steadily move towards our goals. This new moon isn't going to see us all of a sudden changing everything instantaneously. What it is going to see us doing is slowly and steadily taking the ideas that build around us, that become clear to us, and saying, this is how I'm moving forward. This is what I'm going after. And I'm going to lay this foundation so sturdily, so steadily, that it becomes more than I imagined that it could be. And it moves us then to the Hierophant. It moves us to knowledge, yes, but also to a sense of what am I committed to? This is the Major Arcana marriage card. We might find ourselves moving towards a relationship that we've been dreaming of, but that was almost seemingly impossible to get to. And now we're finding ourselves saying, well, what am I committed to? What do I really love? What do I really want? What do I really need within my life? How do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? How am I opening up this door? What is it that I desire that has been close to me, either because we've been afraid of it and now we see ourselves facing our fears in a profound way, or because we thought that we just couldn't be a part of it. And now we're going to find ourselves walking through that door, embracing that prosperity, that success, those ideas. And the Hierophant, we have to remember, in medieval times, in the European world, was the most powerful of all the beings. It was the Pope that everybody listened to. Emperors, kings, queens, empresses, they listened to the Pope. And they had to. And so here, there is this sense of power coming in if we follow the traditions of us. It doesn't have to be the traditions of dogma. What it has to be is the traditions of who we are, what's intrinsically important to us, how we are developing, what we love, what we want, and what we need within our lives. And it brings us then to the moon's call for us. So let's see here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Oh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So at our root, we have here this energy gains, the energy gains momentum, focus. This energy, as we stand before the altar of our existence, as we claim what it is that we want, it gains momentum. We have to focus on what we want, on what we're seeing, on what we're developing, on what we desire. And it brings us then to you and your loved ones are safe. New beginnings. The new moon comes into play, and we have beginnings here. So we have the sense of this new moon centers us and says, it is okay. It is okay. Things are taken care of. Now it's time to look at the bigger picture. What do we want to develop? What do we need to develop? How are we moving forward? What is it that we long for? What is it that we don't want in our lives anymore? Which brings us to our emotional self. Prosperity lies ahead. The unexpected. The unexpected comes through the prosperity that lies ahead. And that prosperity that lies ahead is completely unexpected. We cannot plan for this. We're going to want to, because that's human nature. But Spirit's saying here, you can't plan for it. Let me guide you. And we're also being told here not to take things on surface value. Deeper. We're going to always need to be going deeper during this time. Communication is key. Beauty. Communicating what we love, communicating what we want, communicating to ourselves what we love and what we want, communicating to others that are in our lives what we need, what we love, what we want, how we move forward. Everything here, except for the waxing moon right here. But the waxing moon leads to a new moon. Everything is a new moon. The darkness, the new moon is just so powerful for us. And so we're going to see that powerful energy coming forward. We're going to see ourselves embracing that power, embracing what we need, what we want. And as we do so, the subconscious Luna message is the new moon. A new start is coming. Sovereignty, the queen of the moon. A new start is coming. Embrace the sovereignty of self. Embrace the ruling of our hearts and ourselves and who we are and where it is that we want to be. We're not dictated by anybody. We are finding that we dictate a lot within our lives. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's justice. Another air sign energy coming in. But it's also the sense of thinking that everything has to be just. Everything has to be just a certain way. And that could be the inclination of the fixed star Arcus that brings justice forward. And we're going to think, okay, everything has to be just and everything has to be just so. And what Spirit's saying here is now we have to be discerning. We have to be discerning of the energy that we let in. We have to be discerning of the energy that we let go of. We have to be discerning of what we want and how we're building and what we desire within our lives. Justice is important, but we can find ourselves consumed by it and thinking, okay, I just have to be just to people who are never just to me. And it isn't saying that we just rally against them and charge forward. What it's saying here is be discerning. Be discerning of the energy that's in your life and that's dictating things to you. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy. It's listening, the throat chakra. We can learn so much just through listening. Listening to ourselves, listening to the world around us, listening and observing. That's something nobody seems to do anymore. Everybody's so busy talking and yelling over each other. What about just simply looking and seeing and respecting and listening? It will be like a superpower, Scorpio. And then we have at our root, we have the Hermit turning inward. We can also feel very alone at times, so just be mindful of that. The Hermit can also feel like we've shut out the world. And at this time, as we focus on the energy that's gaining momentum, we don't want to shut out the world. We might want to take quiet moments, yes, to embrace the quiet and the beauty and the intensity of the new moon, since the new moon is such a part of us during this time. To sit there quietly, during this new moon on the 4th of November and just take in its darkness, take in its quiet, take in its peace, take in its reset button and be able to recharge with that. Our subconscious inner energy is the Three of Wands. Doors start to open. We start to see paths forward that we never thought could be ours. And yet now we're saying, why the heck not? Embracing that adventure. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Seven of Cups. Wishes and dreams. Things that we've forgotten we ever even wanted start coming forward. And we're like, but that's where I need to be. That's where I want to be. That's what I desire and need and wish for within my life. We start to connect with our dreams again. We start to connect with our passion. We start to connect with where we want to be and why we want to be there. And it's not just going through the routines in such a way that days blur into the next and we don't even realize that we're losing time. Like, that the days are getting away from us. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And that's the Queen of Swords, power. Cutting through doubts and fears and negativity. Being able to embrace our voice. Being able to embrace what we want, what we desire, what we're looking for within our world, within ourselves. Looking at a bigger picture. This is the warrior queen. We're not going to be held back anymore. This is a time where we say, this is me, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I desire, and this is what I'm going after. Period. End of discussion. We are powerful during this time, and we're not taking anybody's nonsense. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this new moon, because this is going to be an intense one for us. Take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio, and may you have a blessed moon.